So I originally planned to make a video talking about XXL Woofia and ranking all the events, but Romeo is a Dead Man came out this week and that game is actually amazing, so I'm just throwing this video out here. What's this video about? I don't know. Maybe it's a top 10, maybe it's just me talking, I'll figure that out later. First off, let's do some house cleaning and talk about some of the general things that I feel are important. It's a kind of a PSA, kind of not. Point is, there's this kind of sort of event going on. It's one of those pop-ups you get when you open the game, those bannery things. I suppose that's just what we're gonna call it now, a bannery thing, called Wholesome Rewards. You have to scroll to the side on the start screen. What is this bannery thing? Basically, it's spend gems to get gems. It gives you a random amount, but the minimum is the same as the cost, so it's pretty much even at worst. Why the fuck are they doing it like this instead of just handing out however many gems is the max surplus? I've got no fucking idea. But do be aware that you can functionally lock yourself out of being able to get them all if you don't have enough gems to actually buy the damn things. Don't be like me and accidentally waste your gems and have to scrounge around to find them, but for those that are like me and didn't notice, here's some advice on where you can find gems between your couch cushions. Firstly, you're going to want to remember that upgrading the stars on any unit will unlock a new file for them and a small bit of gems. The same goes for the scenes you unlock by upping your relationship in the playroom, something I obviously can't show here. Though I will admit that this process is slow, even if you have the extra tickets for the playroom to spare, and leveling up the stars on units can get crazy expensive even if you do have a lot of bells. I'd also like to remind you of the gym challenge missions, you know, those things where they drop the skill up tags. Once more, it'll take a lot of tickets and is slow even if you do have them, but hey, the things we do for gems. I'd also like to remind you that the main quest does offer gems and that they shadow dropped a new chapter yet again. Well, maybe they didn't shadow drop it and they actually have like a banner or something on the pop-up screen. I certainly wouldn't notice if they did. I'm like Josuke from part 4 when it comes to pop-ups. It doesn't matter what a gacha shows me, it doesn't matter if it's literally right in front of my eyes. I will not see it. Oh, and by the way, if you need to bring up the Wholesome New Year's thing after opening the game already, just select the hot thing from the homepage. And don't forget the gems from part-time, you're going to want to get those too. And stop reflexively buying every bell that pops up in the shop. I know it's a habit, but you'll need to break it for this. Let me also tell you about these cool little things in the event shop, the Beast Seal red envelope. You get them from finishing the event missions, and you can even buy some of them in the shop. Think of them as like a worse version of the Wholesome Rewards, since they give you a small amount of gems when opened. Time for some real life lore for all of you since I enjoy talking about that shit for no good reason. Did you know that the entire concept for these gem giveaways lie in a real Chinese tradition? Around New Year's, kids and younger folk are often given gifts of money in red envelopes called hongbao, thus explaining why we're given gifts of gems and red envelopes. And there is Fury's fun fact for the day. Wasn't that nice? Putting that aside, let's get to the meat of the video and what this video is primarily about. Units, specifically the good ones. There's no real order or much planning behind this. This is just me telling you what units are good and what to invest in. To begin, let's start with who I think is probably top 5 at least, top 1 at best in the game. The Neon Beast, Divine Blessing Suichong. This isn't a fun fact, but just more like a thing I noticed, but have you noticed how the two light and dark limited units get to have a title in their name? There's Divine Blessing, as we just mentioned with Suichong, but Anubris is also called Hellhound Anubris. It's a little weird. Anyways, Suichong shares something in common with the first limited unit in the game, Paid, and that one Tanuki from Leo's event, Kagekuni. All of them have a cooldown of 2 turns, which is actually very good, since it means you can get off their most essential skill ASAP. I know I'm getting off topic in that this has nothing to do with anything, but fuck it. It's my video and I can do what I want. Do you say ASAP or ASAP? Answer in the comments. Another pointless detail I'm going to tell you is that there are a few characters with cooldowns of 4 turns instead of the usual 3, namely Yuala, Bune, Akaoni, and Kafka. Putting that tangent aside, what makes Suichong so strong are 3 things. The first is his Divine Rune skill. Keep in mind I'm showing you the base version of their skills. They can still be improved and upgraded. This skill gives him Divine Rune every turn up to 4 stacks. It gives him extra damage on basic attack and EX attacks. And when he has 3 or 4 Divine Rune stacks, he deals extra damage on his EX skill, which promptly removes the Divine Rune stacks. Then there's his Sigil skill, which gives an extra attack and then adds an extra buff to Divine Rune. When every time he takes an action, there's a chance he buffs everyone's attack. And then there's his final 5-star skill, Passing Seasons. which basically says after he does an EX skill, all of your units get Afterglow. This makes it so after they attack, they then do another attack, and they do a stronger attack if they do their EX skill. These three skills actually form a super tight knot where Divine Rune gives a consistent buff every time he attacks, which actually runs contradictory to his EX skill, because his EX fires after 2 turns, so you won't get those later buffs. But those later buffs aren't actually what you should care about, because Divine Rune works in conjunction with that Sigil skill where he slathers himself and allies in an attack buff. And that attack buff only works better when you get him to 5 stars and unlock his final skill, which conveniently applies a buff that makes all of your allies attack again after they do their first action. But wait a minute, remember, he gives them Afterglow, the thing that makes him do that second attack, whenever he does his EX skill, which he gets on the second turn. When do most other units get their EX skill? On the third turn. Meaning not only do they get the attack buff from Divine Rune, they then get to do their EX skill in another attack following it, all of which are also buffed by Divine Rune. It's kind of like the inverted version of Bade, where instead of applying a debuff and punishing the enemy for daring to have it, Suichong buffs everyone's attack for being kind enough to show up. This makes him a bizarre cross between Beernox and a DPS, where he's not only dealing damage but also applying an attack buff to everyone. This makes him one of those units that you should put early in your team, like in the first or second slot, that way he gets his buff off before your other units attack. And keep in mind, he's not just buffing like Beernox, he's still attacking, and he's damn good at it when he's not only buffing everyone but also himself, and his EX skill has a 2-turn cooldown. This makes him a buffer who supplements his entire team, and a nuke that does his best to guarantee his victim dies. He even does singular target damage, so you can use him during boss fights without him triggering fail conditions like the Choi brothers. And at 5 stars, he even lets characters like Leo and Beernox actually attack, and I'm certain there's some dumbass combo you can do by making characters attack that actually shouldn't. This makes Suichong a unique unit that really does live up to a special light limited status. And before we go, since I love sharing fun facts and stuff, Suichong is a Neon Beast. The Neon Beast is an actual mythological creature from Chinese folklore that Suichong is based on. His appearance matches up the lore as well, being described as a lion or dog with a flat face. XXL Woofia even got the large incisors down and his 2 horns. The neon would come out towards the end of winter, eating crops and livestock, so the peasants set firecrackers and exploited its aversion to the color red, thus explaining Suichong's aversion to those things in the game. You know, I'm kind of surprised that Tokyo After School Summoners never included a Neon Beast in it. Seems like something they do. This also makes a convenient time for me to tell you that I am streaming a summon later today, so do be sure to join. Let me also tell you to like and subscribe right here, and that I have a Ko-fi and Patreon link in the description. Speaking of good characters that I think are worth investing in, let's talk about the Choi brothers. They're both characters who are out back when the game first launched, being the first group attackers, and wouldn't you know it, they are still the best group attackers. Let's first get to talking about the older brother, Yu-Yun, the first 5-star unit I actually 5-starred in this game, and the first 5-star unit I got. Yu-Yun is actually much simpler than Suichong, where his main gimmick and benefit is that he attacks everyone. He's a unit that's practically carried by that utility because he doesn't have much else going for him. In fact, he doesn't have anything else going for him. His passives are just flat damage increases with conditions. One gives him extra damage when his HP is full, and others give him extra damage when there are 5 enemies. Buffs that don't last long because there won't be 5 enemies after you kill one, and some fights literally just don't have 5 enemies to begin with. And then that other buff stops working if he so much as gets hit at all. And his final skill he gets at 5 stars does more damage if 5 enemies are there once more, and then gets another buff if there are only 1 enemy remaining, which doesn't impact 90% of most fights, and sometimes it doesn't kick in at all against boss fights with weird conditions. The first trial from this event being a good example, where Yu-Yun's ability to hit everyone will just kill Lin, insta losing the battle, and there's never 5 or 1 enemy on the board, so those buffs just never kick in. Yu-Yun has a fair bit of issues, like a kit that could be vastly better, and boss fights being his true nemesis. But Yu-Yun does not take much investment to be good, and he is really easy to work with since anything that boosts attack will just flatly help him. And he is, once again, one of the only units that can hit more than one enemy at a time, so he's genuinely amazing for anything that doesn't have a weird or stupid condition. It's funny that his younger brother Yu-Hee is generally considered to be the better unit. He shares his older brother's ability to attack everyone with his normal attack, but his EX is different, poisoning a single target, which is improved with his sigil skill, turning it into a wide attack that applies a weaker DOT to everyone, which conveniently works with his other skill, Windlash, which punishes enemies for having the audacity to be poisoned after he poisoned them. The fact that he's only XL and is easier to actually evolve makes him more practical to use, which is only helped by his kit actually having much more utility. How I managed a 5-star Yu Yun before him is beyond me. I don't even really like the guy, but Yu Yun evidently likes me a whole lot. And since we are speaking about XL units that are worth investing in, we have Kantos, notably for a skill, Exorcism spell, which removes debuffs, an infuriatingly rare ability if I'm being honest. And because I forgot to mention this earlier, there's another update thing that I should talk about, and that's the stickers. Basically, you can now decorate the home screen with these stickers you get. You have some by default, but you can also unlock stickers of each character's sigil by making them reach 3 stars. These stickers are actually a part of the achievements quest, in case you're wondering. The other kind are chibi character stickers you can buy from the guild section of the store, giving us another use for those coins. You can even buy songs from the game and events there now too. It's not much, but at least it's something to spend those coins on. I never really got into these systems in either Hisamo or Live a Hero, but if you like that stuff there, then you'll probably like it here. Okay, so Future Fury here, delaying the end of this video by just a bit because I forgot to mention something that's actually really important. You know those blue tickety things that you use to buy all the packs and all that nonsense in the mall? Well, the devs are doing a giveaway for that stuff on their website. Just go to it, click on that golden thing in the top, and just claim your reward. That's it. Now I gotta get my ass out of here because this video was supposed to go up like 10 minutes ago from the time that I'm recording this. And that's pretty much all I have to say for now. I could pad out this video by talking about something, but I don't really need to, and I'm pretty sure you don't want me to, so I guess this is just where we're ending things. For Patreon shoutouts, we have Wolfrix, McCoides, Ganafei, Choron, and Zora Chow, the Deadman. Thank you for watching. Do be sure to like and subscribe. As always, this is Fury signing out.